So Dad and I are out in the field checking our corn crop, seeing what the population is and seeing if it's sprouting out of the ground or not yet.
So we're over here. This is what we call Meek East. This is a 140 some acre field, and most of this is no-till corn going into bean ground. But then we needed some corn on corn last year, so we did 20 acres that was corn on corn, and all planted the same day, but you can definitely see a difference in emergence of how it came out. So we're gonna check the population. On one row, we're on 30-inch rows, so 17.5 feet is 1,000th of an acre. So we're gonna stretch out a tape measure. Right there is 17.6. So then you just count. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
A few moments later.
28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So 33, so 33,000, and that's just, I think we planted this at maybe 34,000. I can't remember if this is, I don't think this is 1197 here. I can't remember what number this is. We'll have to go look. And today's a great day. So it rained last night. It was about warmed up overnight. So it was about 60 degrees this morning when I got up. And then humidity is about 100%. It's real muggy. And the sun came out, it got up into the 70s, and then it rained again. And that's actually perfect for getting the corn that was, maybe it was in a little bit, had a little more trash over it, or maybe the slot didn't get closed quite as well, helping that corn come up. Because as you walk through, you can find plants that you take, like that plant there hasn't been up as long as, say, this plant here. Well, there's one that's just right here. There's one that's just come up basically today, and that's because if you were over here yesterday, it was really dry on the top, and the ground was pretty hard, and so that some of this corn might have been having a little trouble getting through, but with the rain, we're good. So we're gonna walk down here, we're gonna do the same thing in this corn on corn ground and see what we come up with. I gotta grab my tape. 22, there should be one there, but there's not. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we got 30, and then if you notice, because of this extra trash, even though we've got good vacuum on our seed meters, and we've got trash wheels, and we've got pneumatic down pressure and all that, this is a lot more challenging to plant into than no-tilling into bean ground. That is really pretty easy to do. In my experience, it's just about as easy to no-till into bean ground as it is if we would have worked everything with a soil finisher. But when you get into this, what's happened here is this seed should be here, this one should be where it is, and this one should be here. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have 3 plants real close to each other, and they're gonna take the fertilizer. Basically, they're gonna fight it out for who's gonna put on the biggest ear. So one of these might not make it, and they might all make it, but I guarantee you one of them's gonna have a bigger ear than the others, because there's only so much fertilizer in that area where their roots are. One other factor that probably plays into why our population is not as good and why we might have more skips and doubles is because normally this whole field is planted north and south, but last year when we needed 20 acres of corn on corn, our neighbor, our field isn't perfectly square. We've got a corner out of it over here where those white posts are, so we just squared it off and we planted all this corn last year. This was running east and west. This year we planted it north and south. So as the planter's traveling, even though we work this a little bit, that thing it's feeling the rows as it goes over it, And I've got a sheet that shows you what the ride, they call it the ride quality of the planter, and you can tell right to the line where he came out of this into the beans because the ride got a lot better. So as that planter's moving, it's harder for those seeds to drop exactly where they're supposed to. And so that could be part of the reason why we're seeing what we're seeing.
Got my coveralls on, got my boots on, we're ready to rock and get in the building. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna move some pigs around in this Site 2 barn. These are the biggest pigs that we have right now. These are market-sized pigs. We've had to stunt the growth of these pigs a little bit by changing up the diet, and we also have been shutting the feeders off one day, so they've been out of feed for one day, and then we turn them on the next day. And that doesn't affect them too much. It's just really trying to slow down that growth. But we're getting back on track. These processing plants are slowly starting to open up again, which is great. So that's too much talking. Let's actually get into what we're going to do today. So right now I'm in our north room of our Site 2 barn. There's 2 rooms, a south room and a north room, and I'm in the north one. This has a ton of pigs in it, has a lot more pigs in it than the other room does. So what we want to do is we're going to take these pigs and put them in this south room to fill up this room as full as we possibly can. The biggest reason why we want to do that is, one, it gets the pigs closer to the chute, so when we go to load out, it'll be easier and we don't have to go to this room at all. The second reason why we want to do that is, personally, I would like to get this room washed. If we can get all the pigs in that room, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start washing this so I can eliminate time in the future. I'd like to get this room completely washed so I don't have to wash it when that room goes empty. Believe it or not, you got to kind of use a little bit of logic when it comes to pig farming, especially when it comes to thinning out and sorting out pigs. You really want to think smarter, not harder when it comes to this, because if you can, eliminate an hour or two of work versus if you would have done it a different way, you want to go with the smart option. So getting a count on your pigs and making sure if it's even worth it, or figuring out what's the best way of going about it before you start just jumping in and doing the work, it's a good idea.
Doing what he does best, always on that frickin' phone.
While Dad's on the phone chit-chatting, I thought it'd be a good idea to explain why we have all the back ends of these gates opened up. The reason we have these rear swing gates open and letting all these pigs roam together is because it's a lot easier for us to sort. Last time we went to go sort these pigs, we had all the fat hogs we wanted marked out, and what we did is we started from that end and we just worked our way all the way down because this whole thing was full of pigs. And what we did is we let all the unmarked pigs back, and we just kept pushing up the marked pigs. So we would just move from pen to pen to pen to pen to pen, push up all the marked pigs, sort out all the unmarked pigs. And we just got all the way to the front. We had to do a little bit of sorting, and it was a lot faster than just going from pen to pen to pen to pen to pen to sort. So that's the reason why we had all these back ends of these gates opened up.
I counted these up, and in this room we've got 125 pigs on this half. We got 88 pigs in that half. We got more than enough room to bring all the pigs from that side over here. Each one of these pens, when we stock it, we put about 33 pigs to a pen. And so when we're done here, we're gonna have an average of about 17 pigs per pen. So they got plenty of room. In fact, we might crowd them down a little bit because we're trying to, with raising the heat and how we're running the feed, we're trying to slow them down as far as how fast they gain to try to get by not having them get too big. So anyway, we're gonna go to the other side, bring those pigs over, because we're slow emptying buildings, and so we may have to put weaner pigs. We may wash that one room and end up filling it with pigs before this room is even marketed, which isn't what we want to do, but it may be what we have to do.
right, as you can see, we got this side completely full. So we're gonna do the exact same thing on the north side of the south room. We're gonna take pigs from the north room in the south side of it and bring it over here and put them in this group of pens. I'll just say this, pig sorting, thinning down, loading goes a lot better when you have a double panel. That double panel is my baby. I love that double panel when it comes to moving pigs around, because if you just have a single panel and you're one man by yourself, it's gonna be a hard time to move pigs around. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Having that double panel has made my life a lot easier. So if you're a pig farmer out there and you struggle to sort pigs sometimes because they get back on you a lot, I highly recommend that you get one person with a double panel and one person with a single panel. It'll go a lot smoother.
Come on. Hey, hey, come on. Okay, everybody play nice.
Well, that was fun.
We're going through now and shutting all the drops off on these empty pens. I think I got these shut. And
no, you don't. That's not shut.
oh yeah, it's not shut. So that shuts the drop off because this feed line's still got feed in it. Clear out to the bin, and by the time you come 200 foot of the building and 150 feet from the bin, you'll have almost a feeder full of feed. So we left pigs in the end 2 pens. We're gonna go outside and we'll shut the slides on the bottom of the bin that feed these 2 feed lines that come to this room. And then we'll start the feed lines and let all the feed empty out into the last feeder. We'll let those pigs eat it out. And then when it's gone, we'll move them over. And then this room will be completely empty. We can wash it. And we've got a 3 bin setup out here. And we're running just off of 1 bin. We're getting down to the end to where we can order just whatever amount of feed we need for the pigs we have left. So I have 2 empty bins. So if I get the call and they decide that we're gonna go ahead and put weaner pigs in this 1 room, we'll be able to open the slides for the first bin and feed them out of the first bin, and the pigs that are left, the big pigs, they'll still be eaten off of the last bin so that we get the right feed to the right pigs, and we'll start all over again.
So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna head into this workroom and I'm gonna turn on the breakers for the north room so that we can fill those end feeders on the west side, get those feeders emptied out, get the feed line emptied out, and then tomorrow I'll come by and I'll move those pigs over here so all the pigs will be in this south room. So we just got done getting all the pigs moved around. Everybody is spread out, eating, and is happy. Really, there's just, like I said, there's not a whole lot of fighting going on just because there's so many freaking pigs in one huge area that they really can't tell who's their pen mates and who's not anyway. So it's not a huge deal. All right, so I think the feed line has emptied out completely because no more feed is running into the feeders. Same on that side. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn off the breakers, let them eat that out for the night, and then tomorrow morning I'll get them moved. And we're gonna call it a day. That's pretty much it, guys. That's a fun day of us moving pigs around, getting everybody thinned out and evened out the way we want them. If you guys like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out pushing my content further for more farmers and people like you to see it. If you like what I'm about, what this farm is about, feel free to subscribe so you never miss a video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.